Hello, my friends. Welcome to another day of 30 days of yoga. I'm Holly from Holly Wade Wellness. And it is freezing cold here in western Nebraska today. And I was going to go up to the gym where I generally teach and record a few yoga videos. And then I thought, you know what? Well, one, they're busy with dance recital, rehearsal things going on there. Two, it is cold and I don't want to go outside. I'm not going to lie. But then I got to thinking and I was like, the whole purpose of this 30 days is for you to be able to take your practice anywhere. And there are people in the house, so there may be noises throughout, but this is real life. And I found a corner in the house where I can put down my mat and do a little practice. That's the idea, right? It's to make it doable and accessible. And so I thought, what a great way to actually show you what that looks like in real life, in a little corner, literally, in a little corner of my world. So we'll do a lot of things on the floor today, partly because that's where the camera is, and partly because it's a small space. And I thought this would be kind of a nice way to do some different things from what we've been doing to open up our bodies. We'll kind of focus on all over the body. We're not going to have any one particular body part to focus on today. We'll just do a general opening things up and call it good for today. So go ahead and find your spot on your mat. If you'd like to use a pillow or a blanket to elevate your hips, you know that that's an option. And I actually can get on my mat, not on the floor this time. Excellent. So we'll just start by closing our eyes, relaxing those shoulders, and the palms can turn up or down however it feels best. Now let's just imagine this big zipper going from the pelvis up through the top of the head, kind of zipping up and lifting us up through the top of the head. At the same time, our sits bones are anchoring down, and the back side of our body is kind of pulling down and back. So our energy up the front of the body is lifting up and the back side of the body is going down toward the ground. We have this balanced connection of staying grounded while lifting up or reaching up. And we begin by observing our breath. The belly is pulled into the body. The shoulders are relaxed. The back teeth are separated and our forehead is relaxed. We start to notice the depth of our breath. As we begin to notice that breath going deeper into our body, we feel our belly rise and fall with our breath. And we begin to observe our diaphragm, that as we inhale, that muscle presses down toward our pelvis. And as we exhale, that muscle lifts back up into our bodies. throughout our practice, our breath stays about like this. Just slow and gentle, very full. And the belly continues to rise and fall. Let's take our right ear to our right shoulder, slide the left shoulder down and away from the ear. We'll come back up to center and take the left ear to the left shoulder. Slide that right shoulder down and away, creating a little more space down the side of the neck into the top of the shoulder. And our breath is still even and soft. Coming back up to center. Lowering our chin to our chest, sliding the shoulders down and away from the ears. And let's begin to roll the head from side to side. Just really gentle, really easy. No rush. And if you notice any spots that are more tight than others, once you find it, go ahead and stop right there. Breathe, allow the tension to back off, and then continue with the movement when you're ready. And if you find another spot, just do the same thing, repeat. Stay right there, soften and deepen the breath, and then when that tension eases off, continue. Coming back to center and lifting up gently and easily. Excellent. Let's go ahead and turn our head over one shoulder. It doesn't matter which one. And we'll just check our range of motion for right now. Beautiful. Coming back to center and going to the other side for the same thing. Our spine is still long and we're just checking that range of motion. Coming back to center. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and extend one arm up. It doesn't matter which one. Placing the other hand at our side. And we'll start to reach over, hinging from the hip. Opening up through the ribs, sliding the shoulder down and away from the ear. So we don't want this thing. Breathing into it and really let the ribs expand. Breathing in, exhaling as we come back to center, and let's extend the other arm up. The shoulder is down and away, and then we lift those ribs. Let those ribs fan open. And the ribs are opening with each breath. Beautiful. Big inhale up. Exhale as we come back down. Let's go ahead and just round through that spine a little bit. I like to hold the front of my shins, and we're kind of doing a variation of cat-cow. We're just staying seated, but we're rounding through. And generally, we've been using our breath to inhale forward, roll back. This time, we're just going to hold. Round through that spine. Allow the spine to open up. Find any tight spots and allow them to relax and release. Breathing into it. And then switching and opening up. So we're kind of creating a little arc through the back and really kind of sliding those shoulder blades together, opening up the chest. And the head looks up just a tiny bit. Our breath is even and smooth and soft. Coming back to center. Excellent. Let's do a little spinal twist here. So both arms come up, and we'll just gently rotate, taking one hand in front, one hand behind, rotating from the belly button and then up vertebrae by vertebrae, rather than just bringing those shoulders around. So as we rotate, we pull the belly into the body, and we actually kind of lift up through the crown of the head. Now, anytime something is too much, just back out just a little bit. We just get to enjoy being for a little bit. Just enjoy the breath, enjoy being in the pose, enjoy opening in our body. One more breath in and out. Inhaling up and exhaling as we rotate to the other side. And we do that same thing, pulling the belly into the body and extending up through the crown of our head, opening that back shoulder. One more breath in and out. Exhaling as we come to center, and we'll bring those arms up and return. Beautiful. Let's take those feet just out into a butterfly. So the bottoms of our feet are touching. It doesn't matter what the distance is from our pelvis. So we're lifting up through the top of the head, and for some of us, this is going to be plenty. The hands behind can be plenty. Make sure that we're not pressing into the arms and lifting those hips, but that the hips stay settled into the ground. For some of us, this is good. Just staying upright, hands to the front. For some of us, we can hinge forward from the hips, holding either the toes or the shins. It doesn't matter. The calves, whatever. And let's see if we can allow those knees to relax down toward the floor, and almost like the bottoms of your feet are really light and want to lift up. If you want, you can even add this element of pressing those thighs down with the elbows. It's just really soft, really gentle. Just getting a little more. Anytime something is too much, ease out. Always give yourself permission to back out. Kind of like life. We get in a little too deep sometimes and need that permission, need to give ourselves permission and say, hey, it took on too much. I gotta back out. So we're just observing our breath. One more breath in and out. On the exhale, go ahead and rise. Beautiful. I'm going to teach you a new one. I haven't done this one with this group yet. It's one of my favorites. Actually, it is probably my favorite. It's called Turtle. So we lift those knees up and the arms slide through. So the elbow is connecting to the back of the calf. So we're just coming through. The hands are open and palms down, and we round through the spine this time. So I'm really pulling into the belly button. Let me turn sideways so you can see what's happening. So you can see the action from the side. There we go. So I'm rounding through that belly, and now I'm going to do that same butterfly motion, pressing down through my knees, but I'm lifting up through the arms. So there's kind of this counter action going on. And it allows for more opening down the spine. So you may feel it. It's opening up the entire spine. We have all these small muscles. They're short, but they're really dense on either side of the vertebrae. And it's kind of like a rope. And this is opening those up. So if you allow yourself to breathe and allow those back ribs to open, you can use that to help continue to open up the other muscles of your back. The traps, the low back, around the latissimus dorsi. Relaxing the neck, letting the head drop. And we'll let's just take one more breath in and out. On that exhale, go ahead and gently release the knees and slide those arms out. It's kind of one that is not real graceful to get in and out of, so don't worry about that. Let's go ahead and take one foot to the front and go ahead and just turn toward that straight leg, walking the hands toward the foot, keeping that heart lifted and that spine long. Both hips on the ground. Sometimes people will want to lean. We really want to anchor because it creates, this is what allows us to create the muscle balance. So if we have one side, which all of us do, that grips more than the other, this is our chance to even those things out. It's really subtle things that have created those imbalances, and it's those subtle things that will allow it to come back into balance. Go ahead and pull those toes toward you. Extend out through the heel if possible. Softening the knees. Just noticing where you feel this. It might be in the hamstrings. It might be more in the calf. It might be all the way down the back of the leg. But make the adjustments that you need to so that you're finding that edge between it being easy but also being too much. There's an edge where we'll feel some tension. And it's in those places of tension where we find growth. Breath in, exhale as we come up. Let's switch it around. The other leg comes up, tucking the opposite leg in, readjusting as we need to, and then walk those hands toward the foot. Softening the knee if you need to. You can also place a towel or something underneath it. Extending out through the heel, pulling the toes toward us, and observing our breath. Everything is soft and gentle. Feel free to close the eyes in today's practice if that's helpful. Taking our breath in, exhaling as we rise. This time we'll take the legs out to the side. And we'll do that seated forward fold from here as well. So extending up through the spine, just like in butterfly, this might be enough. For some of us, this is enough. For some of us, we can start to walk those hands forward. But the heart is lifted and that spine stays long. Now notice that my toes are still pointing to the ceiling. Dancers have a tendency to roll in, and we don't want that. We want to actually allow this to open up. It's opening up a new part of the hamstrings. It's opening up the bladder meridian. We're doing a lot of really, really good things in this pose. Staying with our breath. One more breath in and exhaling as we rise. Excellent. Let's go ahead and take one hand. It can rest kind of on your thigh or even on the ground. It doesn't matter, whatever feels best for you. The other arm reaches over as if you are trying to touch your big toe. Now, you may not get there, but we want this part of the body to be in a line. So if I were sandwiched between two panes of glass, that's my back and my leg would be sandwiched there. Now, as we do this, let's notice the opposite hip, keeping it down on the ground, getting this nice opening, and this is opening the meridian that connects to the liver gallbladder. So really good stuff. Like I said, yoga is this wonderful practice to do more than just for the musculoskeletal system. It's opening up meridians in the body. It's helping us to rest and regenerate cells. Inhaling up, exhaling. It's helping us to relax. It's helping us to do all kinds of things. Balance, extending up, resting that arm on the other side, and then hinging over. Now notice the shoulder. We want it to be relaxed. We don't want to hinge up here, but we want everything to be relaxed. The heart is lifted. We're getting this opening down the side of the body, maybe even feeling it kind of on the side and toward the quadratus lumborum, which is part of the low back. Again, that's kind of a hard to get to spot in the body, so this is a great way to open things up. Big breath in. Exhaling as we rise and come to center. Beautiful. Let's take both feet to the front and come into a seated forward fold, softening those knees, extending up through the top of the head and walking the hands forward. Extending out through those heels, pulling those toes toward us, engaging those thighs, and then extending back through that tailbone. Breathing full and deep. Beautiful. One more time. Exhaling as we sit up. And then let's go ahead and lie on our mats, lying face up. And we'll just tuck both knees into the chest, rounding through that spine, and if possible, even pull that head up just a little bit so we really are in this ball, rounding out through the spine. Squeezing in as tight as we can. Breathing in, exhaling and releasing, and allowing for the opposite to happen, allowing for full relaxation to settle in. So you might go into a star, you might just rest at your side, you might rest with your hands on your belly. It doesn't matter what you choose to do. But we'll move into a little bit of stillness. So go ahead and close the eyes. Notice the floor underneath your body and how that feels for the floor to fully support your body. Now simply tune into your breath. Now start to notice the pulsations in your body and this feeling of being alive. Maybe you feel a little bit of kind of a buzz in your body. Maybe you feel a little vibration. Maybe you feel some kind of radiating coming off your body. Whatever that might be, you understand what that means within your own body. Coming back to our breath. Simply observing how the floor feels underneath the body. How that air feels swirling on the skin. And then gently stretch and reach and wiggle those fingers and toes and move in whatever ways that you need to. And then take your time to roll over onto a side. It doesn't matter which side. And take all the time that you need to ease up to a seated position. Excellent. I hope that you are feeling better having done your practice, having showed up on your mat. I honor you for showing up day after day and committing to yourself. Namaste. Have a wonderful rest of your day and or evening.